gets blurry, pushing back the tears. Should take a leap of faith and face my fear. I blame it on the voices that are in my head, wondering if they'll ever be put to bed. Feels like I am close to reaching my wit's end, holding out, but I'm about to blow it up like a volcano.
Got drunk off your lie, and I lost myself again. You hit just like a drug. This time I won't let you in. You're playing with fire, no, I didn't numb the breath. But this time I won't collapse like I did yesterday. You broke my heart once again. I won't buy the dust in return. I can't give it, I can't give it, I won't give it this time. You broke my heart once again. With your breath and your bad it for me. I can't give it, I can't give ya sé que es de ti. I got to stay away, got to stay away. Sé que como un trofeo quieres tenerme, pero I don't need no one. Que yo ya sé que es de ti. I got to stay away, got to stay away. No, 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 baby, no, 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 no setbacks. No, 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 baby, no, 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 this time. You broke my heart once again. I won't buy the dust in return. I can't give it, I can't give it, I won't give in this time. You broke my heart once again. Well, you bad, but you bad it for me. I can't give in, I can't give in. I've already run with the wolves. Far from the light of the day. I can't go back to you, I'm stronger today. Been to the dark side, I don't know. So if you wanna shoot far away, I won't go back to you. I'm stronger, I'm stronger, I'm stronger today. I'm stronger today. There you were on the other side of the room. Place was filled, but all I could see was you. You're magnetic, captivating, and you know it's true. Sent a smile and you started to make your way The crowd, it grew so loud. You and I didn't even care. I never wanna
Hello everybody and welcome. We've got some AD2L Tiebreakers locked in and ready to go for you. Super exciting. We saw this Josh A Chaos team playing last week. We've got Kiki's Angels coming up again. This is the great Marooney stack. Some of these names going to be rather familiar if you've watched some of the casts in the past. Marooney, Fathom. I feel like I've cast way more of their games than anybody else for some reason. But it's going to be exciting to get into. You can see the bans spooling out in front of us. The Largo, the Shadow Fiend as well. And then you can see the Viper, Timbersaw, Clockwork getting banned out from Kiki's Angel. So a couple of these more meta heroes did slip by, notably the Razor out of the off lane, something that teams absolutely hate to play against. And we do see Treant Protector banned out in that last spot, so taken away. But the Jakiro picked up first by Kiki's Angels. One of the more oppressive position 5s available right now. Something that teams have been absolutely in love with playing as well. Just because it feels like not only do you have this laning presence, but later on Jakiro is inordinately tanky. Something that I don't think gets talked about enough, because Jakiro's real strength being the laning stage. People overhype that, and then just the ability to shove waves. But I think what makes Jakiro really strong is it's not a backline support that you're able to just cut up like so many of these others. Hoodwink, you know, kind of an example the other way, just that you're going to be able to blow this hero up as long as you can find the angle. But Jakiro, we talk about this having some hero having some amount of survivability, some 2000 HP when it's on the backlines, and it makes it pretty awkward to try and gank everybody as well. You know, you all of a sudden you run into this Jakiro and it is causing some problems. Just trying to see. This is the Back from the Dead image, and have I just completely grabbed the wrong image? I've amazingly forgot all of what happened last week. And it's gonna make me dive into this to see if I've now said this wrong in like 5 places. So give me a moment as we sort this one out. I do see that it's the Back from the Dead team that's been picked up. And I just unfortunately can't remember that this is yes or no the correct team.
5 seconds remaining.
So the lovelies messaging me on the side telling me that I've got the wrong team does make things rather unfortunate. I blame league admin, you know, what can you do? It's fine, everything's fine. Oop. Anyway, we're going to continue talking about the draft because, you know, everybody loves to see that and loves to laugh at the Idiotcaster. We'll get that title updated as well, and we'll have a more up-to-date screenshot of the game afterwards as well. But the Pudge picked up from Back from the Dead. Alright. That's going to be an interesting one to see. I'm actually not sure where they play this hero. I remember when we were talking about the game last week with Heartrun over on his channel, we were mentioning that Pudge is something that's been getting banned out against Back from the Dead specifically. Now, we were watching the Josh A. Chaos versus Josh A. Back from the Dead series, so those teams knew each other a bit more intimately than your typical Garden Variety matchup. But I'm interested to see what Back from the Dead can do with it. That we will have to find out later on. Kunkka picked up in response from Kiki's. I think this is already looking to be a strong draft from Kiki's. Even though the Kunkka, a hero that we don't see too often, it's one of those heroes that does a lot of the things that I really like in Dota right now. I could be convinced by a Kunkka Greaves pipe build, by the way. Following the flavor of the meta with all these heroes that like to do that style being banned out in the Viper, the Razor. Not quite the Largo, but does provide that same kind of utility. Kunkka, one of those heroes that has traditionally, I say traditionally, has more recently been the more aura buyer, the more radiance buyer. You're this big tanky strength core that runs around in the fight. You might not do incredible damage, but you do have a big team fight combo, and you can just kind of exist in the middle of the fight for a long period of time. Popularity's definitely gone down ever since, you know, kind of the removal of Torrent Storm. That's not exactly what did it, but Torrent Storm was kind of the pinnacle team fight chaos spell, in that as soon as it had the kind of, how do you say, it was like a pity prize, right? There's a participation trophy on the Torrent where if you walk into the AoE after it's missed, you still get slowed by, I believe it was half. Did make this hero feel a little bit annoying to play against, and by that I mean a lot of bit annoying to play against.
Radiant team pick.
See them followed up with the Furion, and both teams grabbing some global presence. Dawnbreaker Pudge. Gonna be a duo. I really hope this isn't a support Pudge. You know, core Pudge I could see, but all of a sudden, it makes the draft a little bit awkward to see Pudge Dawnbreaker, two heroes that I would think would be fighting for the offlane slot. I haven't seen much position 1 Pudge in recent days. Doesn't feel all that strong to me unless you're picking it into some illusion counter. The Ag's Rot, I don't think does enough damage. The other facet as well with the right click while you have Rot on feels a little bit weak. So we'll have to see. If they end up going support Pudge, meh. If they go Pudge 3, Dawnbreaker 4, well, then you have a weird Hoodwink. So I don't know exactly what the idea here is from Back from the Dead.
10 seconds remaining.
They do get the Queen of Pain, so it is a rather strong kind of gank squad with the Qua plus Dawnbreaker Solar Guardian over the top. See if they're able to hunt down the Furion for a majority of this game.
Dire team ban.
Oh, and see, their Kikis are people after my own heart, man. Now they can't lose this game. They go for the Luna. It doesn't exactly fit in the draft. Well, I say that. I wonder if they're trying to play a Fury in position 5. I mean, or 4. But a support Fury nonetheless, potentially. Jakiro plus Luna. Very strong lane, though. Depending on how they do it with the Pudge. I mean, this hero kind of beats up on Pudge. Very low armor hero. Luna, you can get aggressive on the lane. Shove out and just start to maximize very, very early.
10 seconds remaining.
Can't lose when you've got a Luna pick. You know, you really can't. This hero's not great. It's been middling win rate ever since a year and a half ago maybe. Something under 50%. Not too far away. But just hasn't felt the love in recent days either. Still, it is quite a strong lane with the Jakiro. Shouldn't be a ton of threat, even if it is something like a Hoodwink Dawnbreaker lane. Bail yourself out a little bit, having Jakiro behind as well. And for their last pick in the mid, they're relatively free here. Actually, I say in the mid, it's going to be Kunkka mid potentially. I don't know if you want to dodge the Kunkka mid matchup into the Queen of Pain. They could go with something like a Storm Spirit.
10 seconds
And just play it ultra safe. The Spirit's kind of very much the flavor of the month right now.
5 seconds remaining.
Have some gank potential into the offlane with the Kunkka, so I'd be fine if they want to go that way. Otherwise, you're kind of picking your offlaner blind into the safe lane. And I think Kunkka might be able to just be this Aura's carrier. So the more I think about it, the more I want to see a mid pickup. Storm Spirit, Ember Spirit would do well as well. The Invoker is available. Really, any of these heroes should have a good enough time. The matchup into Queen of Pain is not going to be demolishing one way or the other. Go Magnus instead. That's a little bit more curious. I wonder if as Queen of Pain you can go a couple extra points in Dagger knowing you're going to be either against the Magnus or the Kunkka. It's probably a bait. Probably you just max Scream anyway and go farm. But there is some options. So, at the end of the day, it is the support nature's profit. And we'll see with the last pick. It's going to have to be Carry, I think. Carry Pudge really does not match up this game against the Magnus, nor the Luna. Which means they're going to have to play a support Pudge. It's all about hitting the hooks. Now, in North America, you get buffs on support Pudge. Hooks hit about 75% more often when you play on US East, the server. So last pick, Kez. This is a hero that I've actually been very underwhelmed by, I think, watching AD2L this season. It is a very strong hero when it works, and when it doesn't, it very much falls flat. I think that even watching some of the more recent pro games, here players that aren't Kez players, aren't Kez spammers, they kind of can either make or break their game silently in the background. It's the first couple kills, the first couple fights that you take, maybe after you get a Desolator, maybe after you get the first item. But if you don't start snowballing off of your timings on the Kez, it just feels like you don't do enough. And the items come too slow, the items come too late, you get a BKB and you don't do any damage. And this is a game where that situation could happen. A lot's going to go based on the carry to carry matchup here. Maruni on the Luna is going to need to do a lot. He's got the Moonshield facet, which I think is by far the weaker one. But I have seen people going for it. But if the Kez can blow up Luna, all of a sudden this game could look alright. The problem is going to be if Kez starts to fall behind. You're trying to kill a Kunkka, you're trying to kill a Magnus. These are heroes with a lot of innate tank ability. You've got the RP to cancel the BKB, or to stun through the BKB, I should say. So definitely not the easiest Kez game in the world. We'll see. In terms of draft advantage, you gotta give it to the team with Luna. You pick a Luna while I'm casting. I'm gonna give you the win 100% of the time. Kiki's already walking away with this game 1-0. So we'll see back for game 2. No, I'm just kidding. Just messing with you, as we are set to get underway, and we'll get right into the action.
Prepare for battle.
That's a bit of all right. Nothing better than a nice raw liver.
What is this 3 circlet build on the Magnus? Fascinating stuff, man. People been doing this? Is this a thing? Aggressive smoke coming through from the Joshes. It's Pudge just making his way up the hill. Bushwhack gonna connect, the hook back will hit as well. We're gonna have a good old-fashioned skirmish. As instead it's the Hoodwink starting to get run down. It's not gonna be enough damage to take him out, and with the blood grenade slow to follow, it looks like there will be nothing more. A little bit of trading of the paint, but we'll start this game off on even footing. It is the Boots first Pudge support start. I mean, this has got to be kind of terrible. Is Kez just going to get shut down in this lane? You know, is there anything that Pudge Kez do? Even against Magnus, it's going to be Mag plus Furion.
The battle
You
begins.
potentially have Jakiro coming through the gate because Luna probably going to be okay in the Dawnbreaker matchup. Yeah, no, I see. Okay, they're going to bring Pudge top. It's going to be the Pudge Dawnbreaker like we thought. I don't know how I feel about the Hoodwink position 5. I think this is a bit of a bait. Because you think of this hero being elusive, slippery in the trees, you know, and kind of able to turn some net worth into being this annoying 4 that runs around and gets the extra farm off the map, kind of hits the waves that are annoying to farm. And, you know, at the end of the day, this Hoodwink position 5 is not able to do that. Sure, you can throw out some bushwhacks, but you're not going to have the priority to be this annoying hero. And Pudge is one of those 4s that kind of needs some items of his own. Otherwise, you start to become a liability even if you hit hooks, drawing heroes in just to die yourself. So we'll have to keep an eye on it as things go. I do think the laning stage is going to relatively heavily favor the Dire here. The one bright side for Josh is going to be that Kunkka against Queen of Pain is not going to be such a fun matchup. You can already see. This might just be a kill. There's an extra Fairy Fire to stick as well. And the Torrent Lens, so it's going to be enough to keep him alive. Lots of trading coming through, and there's actually no bottle coming for the Queen just yet. So it makes it a little bit awkward, both of these heroes prioritizing the trades over the farm, and that makes it a little bit awkward on that first bottle, that first wave of regen. And you can see everybody terrified to approach the wave, so no one can really prioritize their own game early on. I think that does end up being okay for the Kunkka. You can see 8 and 4 versus 4 and 1, so definitely behind in the early CS, and he's going to lose the full wave here. Level 3 comes out. It is 2 points dagger for Ches. Bottle as well. And now this lane just gets that much more difficult for the Kunkka without the extra regen to work with. And Ches gonna try and play this for both water runes, see if he's able to do it. Does have the point in Blink, and it looks like he's gonna be free to go in aggressively as well. So not only gonna be both water runes, but even more harass, even more problematic timing. And the TP in from Furion, it's not even gonna be enough to stop the water rune, is it? No, the Blink across, just maximizing the bottle. And the TP support in, it's not gonna be enough. In the meantime, is Magnus getting run down underneath his tower, though will be okay. And Ches may have just bit off more than he can chew. 60 HP, able to get the Blink away. So lots of action in the mid lane, something we don't see so often nowadays anymore. It's usually just a farm fest here. But with the potential for the Nature's Prophet TP in this early, get to see some more interesting dynamic stuff we don't usually get to see. We will leave that lane just briefly to talk about the side lanes where Maruni on the Luna. Look at this double Fairy Fire build. Get a little bit of extra damage going his way. Kind of love to see it. He's gone boots as well. Make sure that the hooks are not going to be easy, and he's rewarded for it. 21 and 6, top CS in the game. as this lane should feel very, very free, as the skill point held for the Moonglaves, of course, as soon as he's ready to start prioritizing the jungle. As I say, this lane's going to be easy. Blood Grenade hits. Just looking for the hook. And Maruni actually jukes back the other way. Wand Fairy Fire. Maybe going to be enough to get a return kill before he goes down. The Fairy Fire, it's going to be not enough. Pudge goes down first. So Maruni does get first blood still. They are going to go 2 for 1 in this top lane. But you'll take that every day of the week for getting as low as he did on Maruni. Furion hunting on the back, but it's not going to be enough. Hook just... Quite a bit of damage. Blood Grenade as well, and this might just be another kill. And in fact, it's not even going to be close. Fathom ends up burning him down with the dual breath. Some extra gold being collected by Roa. I mean, I love that people are going this fast, and I love that this is, you know, appropriate to take the Nature's Prophet on the Nature's Prophet. But sometimes it really does feel like you just give your enemies a little bit of extra bounty. Man, and how annoying is the Jakiro? It's so much damage that you have to deal with. Whoa. Look at this stack. What is this? Got a 3 stack up here as Dawnbreaker goes down up top. I'm horribly distracted by the fact that this camp has gotten ridiculously large. And Kez looking to farm it. Gets a couple of the small creeps. I don't know if anyone has enough damage to really take this thing out with any sort of tempo. Just gonna hang around and slowly whittle it down. This time a couple of the last hits go over to the Magnus. And finally, it looks like with the Furion no longer present, he'll have to concede the rest of that one. 6-minute power runes a spawning. 50-50. Does go Garrett's way. But up on top, Fathom is going to be the casualty. So they secure the rune, but they do lose Jakiro. Looking to pick themselves up an extra one as well. As the supports tete-a-tete inside of the Radiant jungle. Not going to be enough for Frodo. Trying to deny to the neutral creeps, but the hook. Able to take him out. And whoa. Kill on the mid lane. That's Garrett coming in. Level 6, but no boat used to grab that one. 7-minute wisdom shrines. Looks like they're going to go 1 for 1, but not your typical 1 for 1. It's going to be aggressive moves on both sides, ensuring that one. And at the end of the day, Roa could just be in trouble. The Ice Path holds him back. Maruni's here, looking for the damage. See if they have it. Ches makes the TP. Jump on the back line, and all of a sudden the counter rotation is coming in. Maruni in some trouble. Sure, they get the 1 kill, but you've got a full HP Queen of Pain to deal with. And it's just TP out. Looks like they will trade one aside. Off lane for safe lane. Ches now could be in some trouble. X mark back into the ship, but the hook able to take Garrett away. Still Pudge. Not the highest HP right now. About 400 left to work with, and a couple more right clicks. One more will do it. Garrett not able to catch up, and he's going to have to bail out as Ches did have enough. The Solar Guardian keeping him healthy and able to jump in for more. They'll take down the Kunkka. They'll take down Fathom as well. Trying to run his way back underneath the tier 1 tower, but there's just no way to escape Roa, or is there? Juking through the trees. He lost vision for a second. Come on, there's no way. He's got a hammer, but he doesn't have the mana. Jump in underneath. Ches will take it. Double kill for him. They did lose Pudge off to the side as well. But again, it's another trade that you'll take for Josh A. And in the meantime, we've not been talking about the bot lane. Kez is caught up in the CS, top of the lane, as with so much attention from the Furion placed in the other lanes, allowed Seraphim to start maximizing himself. He's got The Morbid Mask up, so ready to go to work in the jungle. And keep his efficiency going. Top of the net worth board. Luna not too far behind as she's made her way into the jungle as well. Mask of Madness ready to come out. Might see a Luna without Eclipse and wonder why Marooney's playing this way. Remember, it is the Moonshield facet. So not getting the extra damage from the beams means it's definitely going to be more of a farming game. It's down bottom. They'll be able to take down Seraphim. TP rotation, Fathom here as well, looking for the extra kill. Trying to find Hoodwink in the trees. It's a slippery job, but they'll have enough. Take him out. 10 minutes into the game as we grind to a screeching halt. Oh, how terrible. Everything's gone wrong, huh? We get booted from the game. Alright, well. We're gonna get right back into this one, but for now, how's everybody doing? Having a good time? Oh, Josh A. Chaos. No, not like this. It can't be like this. We've got the wrong team still. I never updated it. Whatever. What are you gonna do? We are getting back into the game momentarily. Should be just fine to pop back in. Still, early on in this game, it feels like, you know, there's been a lot of trading, a lot of running around. I do think the one thing going wrong for Kiki's right now is just that the Magnus kind of had his support taken away. Feels like they didn't get enough done with the global rotations of the Furion to justify giving Kez such a free time on the lane, though we'll have to see what more can come out of it. As we are indeed back into the game. We've got a pause, but we're going to throw it back in there as... struggling just a little bit. So is everyone. Imagine having real life problems during your Dota game. Imagine not pausing when I disconnected, but pausing when Marooney has to deal with his real life. Is it actually? I can't remember who on their team it is that has to deal with the child. I remember this being a thing. I just can't remember. Can't remember who it was. I feel like carry players can't have kids, you know? It's too much mental instability. What position is the most suited to real life? It's actually a hard answer. Like, position 1, the ego's too high, right? Position 2, also the ego's too high, but kind of in a different way, right? 1s think that the game is all on them. 2s think that they need to be the flashiest person ever to walk the face of the earth. 4s are absolutely suicidal, and 5s are, like, hugely self-sacrificing. So maybe it's position 5, right? You're already self-sacrificing, so why not add some more? You'll notice I haven't talked about 3s. 3s are, what, mentally unstable? Who wants to play this role? It's actually, I think offlane's become a lot more fun ever since it's, you know, it's the dead lane permanently some 7 years ago, and now it is a much more viable place to play, though carries have started to take over the game once again. I don't know. Share your thoughts. Someone come up with an idea. Vlad's Desolator is going to be the build for Kez. Continuing to top the net worth charts and feeling rather uncontested. There's a lot of heroes coming his way, but struggling to find their way home. It was a good move for Seraphim to evacuate this lane. And at the end of the day, a wasted rotation from the Kunkka. Oh, not again. Come on. Don't tell me like this. We gonna get booted once again? What a problem. Gonna try and just get straight back into it. Things going a little bit awkward. But we should be okay. Yeah, we are back into it straight away, and of course we missed the fight, you know. So just to break down what just happened, you know, we disconnected so that they could have a fight, the first real one of the game. Looks like Solar Guardian came down over the top. It was enough to turn the tides of the fight, perhaps. And even the fight recap doesn't like telling us what happened. Just gonna have to live on in mystery, I suppose. How unfortunate is that, right? Keep your secrets, Dodo. We don't need to see it. We only see the result of this fight, and that result is that Josh A is storming out to a lead. I really do feel like at this point of the game, you've got Key going for this blinked rush on Magnus. And it's kind of problematic that he's going to be so late to it. I think today's day I'm not super enthralled with the blink rush on your offlaner. Let's check out the hunt. Looking for Marooney the hook. It's going to be off the mark. Thought the North America advantage was going to kick in, but unfortunately, not going to be enough to take out the Luna.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Anyway, just to return to the point, you know, I think it's kind of problematic to go blink rush on your offlaners nowadays unless you use it to get a very early kill as soon as you pick up the blink and start to snowball from there. It just feels like there's so much farm on the map right now that you kind of stunt your own game to go for a more tempo item, and we don't too often see an amazing payoff. It's so much better if you're able to, you know, get that one more item that enables you to start spiraling your game through farm rather than through kills. And I think this game really has slowed down in pace. Ever since the map opened up to include that outside jungle, it's much easier to find farm on every hero in the game. Not just one or two positions to start driving. Fathom, a little bit far up on the Jakiro here. He's been spotted, but they're looking for a bigger target. Right now, just waiting in the wings on the supports. They wanted Magnus so bad, just unable to find him. They were set up for the hook. Fathom. Not gonna be found. As Seraphim wants to go for more. He's going in. He's going to be caught by an RP. They're going to skewer him all the way back. But where's the support? Where's the TPs? They're not coming to lose Jakiro instead. And they've got a Solar Guardian over the top looking for more. Garrett in with the boat, fighting from the low ground. He's not able to find these heroes on the bridge, but the Blade Mail, it's enough to take down one. A very awkward little engagement in the side river. Seraphim caught out completely by himself. There's that Blink Dagger. They need a little bit more damage to find the kill. They're going to have it with the cleave. Tidebringer takes him down. Garrett might pay with his life, but look at the damage. He's got the connection on Punch, and now he's trying to run away. Roa needs to find him, has a hammer. He's going to be off the mark with it, and Garrett somehow maybe going to escape. He's got a Queen of Pain to contend with, but Ches out of mana. Garrett, Torrent, is it going to be enough? He sidesteps off to the side. The blink across Garrett. He's going to fall. Ends up being Ches, the one able to dance around this team fight. And now regenning back up a little bit, but not going to commit further. As Luna comes in from the side. Able to mop up a kill onto Roa. And finally it's going to end. Or is it? Hoodwink. Being chased down, Marooney looks inside the pit. Still has enough space to get the beam, and the sharpshooter gets him stuck in the trees. They need the vision. They're not going to have it. The bushwhack. Okay, they're going to have the vision. They're going to have the kill. A couple uphill misses. But Marooney's got his second. And this fight will never end. Heroes TPing in. What are we playing? All random? Seraphim charging on forward. The bash is there. Marooney trying to live, but it's not going to be enough. He's into the neutral camp. Not going to be denied. As the Kez tick damage takes him out. Key now could be the one in trouble. It's like I said, this fight not going to end. We started with an RP. It's going to be off cooldown in 10 seconds, but it's not going to be in time for him to be alive. It ends up being a triple kill for the Kez, who did die in that fight. Fight recap's not going to get any of it, of course, because why would it get that nonsense? At the end of it all, 20-14. Slight net worth lead for Josh A.
Under attack.
And you be the judge of who comes out ahead on that fight. I think technically it's got to be Josh, as you know, now we're in the part at the point of the game where you win the fight, you can find some farm on your heroes. For the rest of that, it was just one big team fight with about 7 deaths aside. Speaking of deaths aside, Ro is going to be found. X mark back into the Torrent, into the ship. Looking for the damage. He does have support coming for the Dawnbreaker. Even with the Spirit Vessel on top, it's not going to be enough. A nice 2-man bushwhack holds them back, and Marooney's been fished out. They need some help on this one. They're not going to have it. The Solar Guardian, it's going to be enough to take down one. The Torrent, nice one onto 2 Blade Mail as well. Means Garrett going to find a return. And he might have overstayed his welcome. Blink in the backline key, looking for the angle. Garrett starting to walk things off. Magnus may have to give his life for the cause, trying the TP. And he's going to make it out. Not so lucky on the mid lane. As Garrett did go down. Another just TP. Sonic Wave, though, will secure it. Maybe shouting in frustration that Ches not able to take down the Magnus, but
Tower is under attack.
will claim a support at the very least. Now headed through the gate to see if he can find just one more. Gonna have to settle for defending his tower. And after that one, can see the fight recap very, very clearly in the favor of Josh A. And that is actually 1,500 damage coming out of the Kez. I was gonna say Kez didn't have a ton to do in that fight, but contributing nonetheless. You can see that's accelerated his game. The Desolator charges already online. It's got some stacks to take in the triangle as well, so that's going to feel rather nice as the Raptor Dance makes short work of even the Ancient Creeps.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Manta Style coming soon behind, and I was saying that this hero can feel rather weak if you don't hit the timings. Well, Seraphim, he's hitting the timings on this Kez. 11,000 net worth here at around 19 minutes into the game.
Radiant are scanning.
Kez is a hero that they're going to need to kill, and it's going to be a tough one. Garrett, smoked up, hunting.
Dire's middle
Looking
tower
for a
is
connection.
under
Doesn't find the X. Hoodwink able to juke and jive through the trees. But might have gotten stuck back there. Able to walk it off. They want this tier 1 tower, but still, the hook. Oh, gonna be stopped by the bushwhack. And now Key jumps forward. They've got to skewer back onto a couple, looking for the RP, but it's gonna miss. Seraphim just jumps forward. The Sonic Wave onto 3. It's so much damage. They get everybody 4 for nothing. And it wasn't even close. A ton of damage coming out from the Kez. The Sonic Wave over the top did absolute work. And these two heroes just making a mess of the teamfight Solar Guardian, providing the coverage, and ultimately the RP. They were looking for Kez, looking for these extra hero connections, but like I was saying, you've got this Blink Mag. If you're not able to find these Blink RP connections that turn the fight in your favor, it just feels like you can do nothing. You don't have damage, you don't have items to continue contributing in this game. And it's such a hard road to recovery now, as he's got essentially what feels like a dead item. It's going to be one more kill onto Fathom.
Well, you can't make a dragon fruit omelet without breaking a two-headed egg.
As right now, it feels like the Magnus has the same impact as support Pudge. You can see just jump forward, setting up kills with his own Blink Dagger. And what a hard game it has become for Kikis. Is this Dire squad? The next items aren't really going to do it for them either. Shiva's coming out for Garrett. I mean, it's going to be nice, but it's not going to stop any of this aggression. Same for Marooney. I mean, he's got Manta. He's going for the Dragonlance. And going for Dragonlance at this point in the game on Luna feels really, really sad. Sometimes it is a necessary evil. You want the Hurricane Pike later on in the game, but it feels like it's a lose less item when you have to go for it after the Manta. So important is the butterfly timing on Luna. Not able to get it as the Tormentor goes down. Aghanim Shard picked up for the Hoodwink. Boomerang acquired. And this is the state of the game. Look where he's got to stand on the Fury. And there's nothing to do, nowhere to go. Nowhere to farm and no kills to be had. I think there probably is some farm to be had, but instead going to play the despair game. Jakira falling low, found in the backlines by Pudge, but able to live. And now all of a sudden the turnaround. They're going to try with the Solar Guardian to keep him alive, and he is living for the time being. Roa's in, and Pudge is out. No, he gets cleaned up on the backlines. And all of a sudden, this Dawnbreaker could be in some trouble. Luna falls to the side as well. And things maybe have exploded. Kez showing up to the fight. Dissuades any further go from Kiki's as they lose 3. Completely off screen. So where the initial point of contact began on the fight. You can see Dawnbreaker remains at 100% HP. They weren't able to get an RP off. And the fight devolved from there. And Garrett found underneath his tier 2 tower. The rest of his team are dead, so there's not going to be a lot of help coming. Key looking for the RP angle. He does have it, but do they have the damage dragged away from the Torrent? And instead, they're going to lose Kunkka. Ches is going to get out for free, and Seraphim up on the high ground is going to find another Ches. He had a couple one. He might have been okay. Died to the tier 4 towers, and now Kez, he's up far. And he's in the middle of everybody respawning. He's going to go down. Those are some big, big streaks to lose right now. 23 minutes in, diving the high ground for the extra kill onto Magnus. It cost them heavily. Lose a couple of big heroes, a couple of big streaks, like I said. More importantly, lose their timing where they might have just slipped straight into the Roche pit.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Still 33 to 20, 10,000 net worth advantage. 4 back from the dead. So they are making it work. Roa has become a very, very annoying hero to play against. Aghanim Scepter coming out soon. Already, though, Pipe and Lotus Orb online. And, you know, in a lineup that's relatively low damage, right? You have a Magnus that's gone all in for the initiation. Does have a Kaya now. But a Magnus that's gone for the initiation. You've got a Kunkka who's gone Blade Mail and now has queued up a Shiva's. So you have your magic damage, but not the most in the world. And then a Luna, whose game has been rather stunted. Dragonlance. Looks like it has been completed. Hurricane Pike will be coming out as well, but importantly, no BKB, no Butterfly. And has to fight into a Kez. It's one of the harder heroes to take down as a Luna. You need to rely so much on catching him in the RP. Make sure he doesn't get any Raptor Dance off, because not only is Kez able to parry your attacks, bash you, all this, but also able to just man-fight you 1v1. So you lose if you don't catch him, and you lose if he catches you. Makes things very, very awkward to try and find this guy. Roshan made his way up to the top pit. Looks like it might just be time to slip in there. Level 20 on the Kez. 22 Desolator stacks, which is a big, big number, by the way. Lots of extra damage going his way, and he's going to get to work. By the way, you call this balance? Solo Roshan at 26 minutes? It's not exactly the fastest, but it's rather impressive that he can do it. BKB completed. His own Butterfly queued up on Seraphim. And at this point, it really does feel like the only way that you can take a team fight is finding a multiple man RP, not just an RP on the Kez, but I think you need a multi-man RP on almost like Kez and Dawnbreaker, maybe after the Solar Guardian comes down, and then just try and blow this guy up, maybe chain him into the boat. I don't know. There's a world where it happens. They've got RP into boat, into Macropyre. Like, there are tools to make a big team fight happen for Kikis. But it's becoming this super narrow window where everything needs to go right, and it's almost like Josh A need things to fall apart for them to take a team fight loss right now. Atos. Not going to connect Garrett. X marked. I want to just go back to the despair cam over here. I feel like Nature's Prophet has just been living life in this corner of the map, not able to do anything. He's got 2 points in the treants, and he's going to make those work for him. By God, they're going to work. Here comes the TP. It's actually out of vision. So problems potentially. It's a very slow rundown. It's going to try the TP, but gets stunned up, and now the rundown quite a bit faster. Hook, and the kill. It was a pretty cute try, actually, with one TP and then the other, knowing that there's only one stun there, but smart move. They TP Pudge back as well. It will slow down any further aggression. Tier 2 goes down, but no further push, as the rest of the team was forced to back. That said, they're going to make their way to the front lines again shortly, as Kez continuing to lead the charge. Butterfly, about halfway complete. Just hanging around this tier 2 tower in the mid lane, ready to get to work. And here they go. Remember, Solar Guardian is at the ready. Feels like there is no way to take down this Kez. Not even once, let alone the second time through the Aegis. Tower goes down. And they'll reset. They'll look to take out all of the outer tier towers during this Aegis advantage. So let's take the tour. Kayayasha completed for Magnus. Key working on the BKB. But I was going to say likely not going to come before the team fight, but they're able to dodge the next 2 minutes, give up the tier 2 tower. Maybe he can farm it up in that time. Garrett has the Shivas as well. It's his BKB a world away. Maruni coming up on the level 20 BKB, nearly in hand. So potentially a double BKB timing for Luna, for Magnus. It's not the most amazing BKB game. It's not as if this is going to simply turn the fight, but will allow them to play at least some kind of team fight where you're not worried about hitting an RP and having no heroes available to hit anyone. But with a minute left in the Aegis, the time might be now to think about tempting the high ground. Seraphim making his way towards the top. See if they do want to try a lane. 1 minute on the Aegis. I think it is a relatively low-risk play. I know, it's hard to utter those words when you're playing against a Magnus lineup who can drag you halfway back to the fountain, but the fact that they have, you know, potential for Pudge to hook you out. They've got Solar Guardian to go in deep if they want to try. Very mobile team, right? If you get Queen of Pain to blink in, you've got Kez as well. Instead, we can see the Raptor Dance just being used to clean up the wave, and I think that's going to signal that we're going to chill out now, though. As I say it, they blink in, find the Jakiro, and there's going to be no saving Fathom. So now 20 seconds on the Aegis, what do you want to do? I don't think high ground's gotten any easier, though. A little bit less poke from the Jakiro. Got to be careful around the Aegis expiring, as it will do in about 10 seconds. Tower taken down halfway. Bushwhack into the hook, into the blink away. Though trying to go back in, maybe. Kez, Aegis has expired. He's going to be forced to pop the BKB and simply run. So there's your awkward Aegis timing. There's the one thing you maybe didn't want to fight on the high ground during. And it's probably the only reason they don't just absolutely clean house, as I'm not convinced that the damage was there to burn through the Kez for a second time. Still, the disciplined route is typically the better one. Butterfly completed. And it's a 15,000 net worth lead in this game, one of the best of 3. Hook the invis rune. Pudge, you love to see it. Furion continuing to farm some jungle off to the side. Atos has been completed, working on an Assault Cuirass. Hoping beyond hope that that does enough as Fathom goes down yet again inside of his own triangle. There is no safety here. Nowhere on the map to play. Aghanim's complete for Roa. So the Solar Guardian getting that much stronger. And hunting for the first time in what feels like forever, but they're going to run right past an Invis Pudge, and here comes the setup. Here comes the flank from the side, the TP out from Maruni just in the nick of time. As Ches was there with the blink in. Tormentor available on the top side, and it looks like that's where we're headed instead. Roshan going to be up sometime in the next 4 minutes. Shard collected on the Kez. So the upgrade to the Katana. Just inject a little bit more net worth into your position 1, right? Why not? And he just feels overwhelming right now. 26,000 net worth on the Kez, topped by a wide margin. More than a full item ahead of Luna. And Luna, one of the heroes that power farms the map the best. Difference all in the kills. Actually, Maruni, more last hits this game. But jungle creeps, not nearly as valuable as enemy heroes. Aghanim's was the choice for key instead of the BKB, so Horn Toss has been acquired. And I just still feel like you have this team fight potential, sure, but so much needs to go right?
Time to move.
Horn Toss picked up, and it's like almost a base defense item, right? You try and just fish them back into the well. Fathom, able to force staff away this time. But they need to get everything. They haven't found a pickoff. They haven't even hunted for a pickoff outside of that one poke in the top lane for probably 15 minutes. In the meantime, the auras continue to accumulate. Sleepy on the Hoodwink, nearly to that full Guardian Greaves. And the hunt's on again. They need a stun. They need a hook. They're not going to find it. Vision. Not quite there. And now maybe it's the time. They saw a couple of heroes TP away. Seraphim could be in some trouble. They've got a skewer into the ice path. The skewer drags him even further back. BKB, the RP, Solar Guardian over the top into the Macro Pyre. But where's your damage? Luna going to be caught. And Maruni still looking to try and get things done. But the Sonic Wave over the top is going to push everybody back. They've lost Magnus. And Maruni charging forward. But his BKB ends. Immediately stunned up by the Bushwhack. Taken out. And now what more can they get? It's a buyback from Garrett. So they lost the Kunko off to the side. It's going to be a 3-for-0 trade. As everybody getting involved. They tried to take down the Kez, but it just doesn't happen. They do have buybacks on both the Luna and the Magnus, but you don't have RP. You don't have BKB on Luna. Here they go, Pudge in on the backline. The Shivas connects onto everybody. The buybacks from Maruni and Key poke in. And what damage do they have? Seraphim down to about half HP, healing up. He still has Satanic available, but pushed back by the Tidal Wave. Now caught by the Ice Path, and he's taking a lot of damage, trying to heal up with the Satanic, but it's not going to be enough. Lotus Orb trying to bail him out. He's still dealing damage in by the well. A couple more right clicks, Yule's up in the air. Will save him for the time being, but there's no way he gets out of this one, is there? Trying to run away. Seraphim is going to be dragged back and killed off on the Kez. Maruni has fallen. That's a dieback on the Luna. As Ches gets the blink away, they're going to buy back the rest of everybody they got, drag him back into the fight, but here comes another round of the Solar Guardian. Roa keeping his teammates alive. They're going to take down the Furion, and what more do you have? Still fighting in the Macro Pyre, but still living through it all. Roa dragged back and burning. Still, though, the Dawnbreaker has remained alive, and they just don't have the damage to take him down. Finally, another round of the Ice Path will be enough. It was a costly hold for Key, but they do hold. Dieback Maruni. Dieback on Frodo as well. They hold the line. They hold the base. And they hold all the barracks intact as well, by the way. Tier 3 tower. Nearly dead, but still hanging on. And funny enough, Roshan is alive in the top pit, but neither team have the heroes available to be able to even think about taking this down. And we're going to see potentially a repeat of that base defense fight, but around the pit, because I don't think Kiki's Angels can afford to give up the Roshan here. I think if you give up Aegis to Kez, he's just going to come and kind of one-man army your base down. So despite not having the high ground to play with, I think you need to take this fight. Starting to get set up for it already as they're smoked up in the mid lane. Key does have the RP available. Invis Pudge is going to spot them out again. This is a second Invis rune on Pudge that's ruined their gank. Fathom has the Ice Path. Key thinking about it. They're bringing the rest of the team in, and we're going to see the engagement straight away. Got the connection onto Fathom. Tidal Wave. Gonna be enough to hold them back for now. Fathom falling lower and lower. The RP, it's gonna be onto nothing. Blink Dagger canceled. Now they've got the Solar Guardian. Now they've got the connection. That's 100 seconds on the deck for Key. And straight down the mid lane they come. That one's gonna hurt. That's gonna cost you. It's a level 25 Kez straight into the base. And you don't have a Magnus for 90 seconds. Just feels like an impossible fight to take even inside of your own base. The best you can do is delay. Hook lands, Garrett starting to fall low. Eclipse burns straight away, trying to take down the Pudge. But in they come. Here comes your damage, Maruni. All he can do is run to the safety of his tier 4 towers as he leaves the rest of the team out to dry. Nothing more doing. Everybody dead. There's one buyback on the Jakiro, but that's all they've got to work with. I'm just going to call it GG. This game, it's felt like an inevitable conclusion for the last 20 minutes, but it becomes official. 39 minutes. Josh A back from the dead, rising in this one, taking the 1-0 game victory, the 1-0 series lead, as they're going to try and close things out in game number 2. Or are we going to see a game 3? Have to decide that one in the next game. And we'll be getting to that shortly. Just realized I had to update the teams again, so apologies. Takes a little second to get things situated, but Josh A back from the dead. I mean, it was a very strong performance we saw last week from them. They really held their own, and I think that they are a team to be reckoned with. This one, I was surprised by the support Pudge pick. I was pleasantly surprised this game by the impact that he had on it. I thought it was actually a very nice game. I compared him to the enemy off lane, just picking up the Blink Dagger and being that Pudge on the front. I think it really is one of those heroes that just, it's super snowbally, where if you're ahead, you feel like you're, you know, kind of a menace. You can blink and you can be on the front and not be in any sort of jeopardy, versus, you know, the second you come behind, you can't be in the front. You can't be that, you know, large and in charge man, and things can get awkward for you. Instead, that's what we saw out of Key's Magnus. You know, Blink Dagger early on, but there's no way that he can ever play it. A couple of RPs that just can't find the mark, but it wasn't a one-man show. It wasn't a one-man loss. Don't get me wrong there. It just felt like the game started to spiral out of control for them. They needed some huge team fights to get back into it. Unfortunately, they couldn't find them. Maruni losing on the Luna brings a tear to my eye. This hero. It needs some buffs. You know, that's what we're going to take out of this game. Luna, please buff Valve. We need some of that one. And kind of the unsung hero of this game, by the way. We spent so long talking about the Kez. Just absolutely snowballing out of control this game. But Chez finishes up 18-2-8 on the Queen of Pain. And just felt, I can't say dominant from the beginning of the game. He did have that one death in the mid lane to the Kunkka. Garrett was able to take him down. But really from then on, cleaned up the game. Was always there with the Sonic Waves. And caused a lot of problems. They were so mobile as a team back from the dead. They were so active and able to make things happen. And that was against, you know, a lineup with some of that global potential in the Fury. And I think maybe just over-rotating a little bit through the early game, it just costs them a couple of lanes that they had some early advantage in. Maybe not costs them, but just doesn't build on that early advantage, right? Excuse me. As, yeah, it's going to be a hard game for Kiki's Angels to bounce back from, I think. I've always thought that these games where you kind of sit and suffer for 20-25 minutes, where you know you're on the back foot, you know you can't fight, and you're just kind of prolonging, they're hard to sit in and then play another game where you don't feel like you're behind from minute 0. Like, it's hard to mentally recalibrate into the, we're not losing anymore. We need to be active, we need to play our game, we need to do what we need to do. Instead of, you know, the last 20 minutes, they've been sat waiting for a mistake that never came. So, you know, trying to get back into that mind space, we're going to get the break between games for them to try and do just that. And they'll need to, if they want to make the playoffs, they'll need to force a game 3 and eventually come out ahead. See if they can manage the reverse sweep, or see if Back from the Dead can capitalize on another convincing performance. We'll be back in a couple of minutes for game number 2. Stick around. We'll be back.
Whispering in my ear, I've loved you since I met you. Did I ever tell you that? I tried to push you out, you pull in. I fell hard so fast. There you were on the other side of the room. Place was filled, but all I could see was you. You're magnetic, captivating, and you know
All right, here we go. Back into the game. Game number 2. Back from the dead. Took game number 1 in convincing style off the back of a pretty good performance. Seraphim on the Kez as well as Ches on the Queen of Pain. Both of them really popped off that game. It's a pretty commanding one. And like I was saying in the post game, it's going to be a hard one, I think, for Kiki's to bounce back from. I do like to see that they've gone for the same initial bans, minus the Queen of Pain. I don't know if Queen of Pain was really the problem that game. Not the hero, but just kind of the way that they got rolled. I don't know if the hero was the #1 cause for concern. They're going to go with the Hoodwink. First pick. It's not really a first pick hero to me. I hate to say it. But I just can't see this hero as first pick material, you know?
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I like it better than the Nature's Prophet, though. I will say that.
Radiant team banned.
And wow, back from the dead. Going with the Snapfire. I feel like, and I talked about this last week, I was just looking at their draft. They have played the Snapfire before, but man, this back from the dead team just plays every single hero known to man. Like, they play literally a different hero every single game. It's wild. They've played 47 heroes across 7 weeks of play. This is their 16th game. They've played 47 different heroes. And it's every single player on their team plays a different hero every game. It's not just one.
Dire team pick.
The Angels ban out Kez as well. The Kez I can see is a ban more than I can see the Queen of Pain, I think. One of those heroes that if you don't have it in your pool, you don't want to play against it. You know, it's worth considering as a ban at this point.
5 seconds remaining.
Doesn't feel like anything particularly game-defining has slipped through. The only thing that I could see is, you know, at any point you can just slam down an Invoker. Probably if you pick Invoker now, you just get Storm Spirited. Okay, they're gonna do it. I thought that was a read that was never gonna come true. I thought that was gonna be like an out there suggestion, but back from the dead. Hear my call. This is a new hero for them. Oh my goodness. How is Invoker a new hero for them? They played 47 different heroes. That's ridiculous.
5 seconds remaining.
It's going to be Chez's 11th unique hero, by the way, in his 16th game. Maybe not even his 16th game. Because he might have been subbed out for one match. It looks like they had a mid stand-in for a week, potentially. I'm not sure. That would have to be confirmed by somebody. I didn't get to see it, unfortunately.
5 seconds remaining.
Kiki's responds with a Shadow Demon. I will say, I do like Shadow Demon. It's super annoying, super hard to play against. I'm still not a huge fan of picking both supports so early on in the draft. I think it kind of drafts you into a corner a little bit. Hoodwink Shadow Demon, all of a sudden you've got a save support in the Shadow Demon, but you're a little bit light on control. Both these heroes can be hunted off the backline as well, so you don't have a lot of extra coverage, right? If Shadow Demon gets jumped, you're going to lose both your supports, and all of a sudden you can find yourself in trouble.
Dire team pick.
Admiral Kunkka.
They do go back to the Kunkka. So Blonded Garrett felt strong on it last game and ready to take it for a spin against the Invoker out of the mid lane.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And you can really see my, game knowledge start to fall off a little bit because for some reason, My mind wants to say this could be worse for Kunkka than the Queen of Pain, which sounds crazy to say. Because at the early levels, Kunkka's totally fine, and Invoker's not going to do much. But as the game kind of goes, you can get whittled by Force Spears. Maybe it's too crazy. Maybe it's, you know, Kunkka's fine through level 5, and then you just don't care anymore. That's probably more accurate. The Tidebringer spam is going to be annoying. These are, at least Invoker's not going to go bottle. Kunkka can, though doesn't necessarily need to. I think I'm crazy. I think that's a bridge too far from me.
Dire team pick.
Go with the Sand King. Guess what? Another unique hero. Why wouldn't it be, right? Back from the dead. They've got this, maybe they have all these heroes that they've played and not played. They've got the list in front of them. And are just ready to pick new ones off the pile. This is a hero that's been, I'm gonna say, climbing in popularity. I feel like I've been hearing more about it. The Sand King and that it's viable. I'm surprised they didn't go for some kind of Cataclysm combo though. So like, you know, Mars is in the pool. Even Centaur sets you up for some nice Cataclysms. You find a 2-man Hoof Stomp and all of a sudden you've got a lot of damage raining in for free. But Sand King has been, you know, becoming more popular if you don't want to play this Aura Greaves offlane and Night Stalker. So now, gotta figure out what goes where. What pieces are being placed. Do we have mid Sand King and support Invoker, potentially? I don't think that's super fun. I really am not a fan of the support Invoker. I think this is just a fine pick on mid. But throwing me for a loop, maybe throwing the Kiki's side off as well. Don't tell me Night Stalker is also a new hero for them. I think it is. That is ridiculous. Yeah, Night Stalker never picked. Sand King never picked. Invoker never picked. The only thing that they've picked before is the Snapfire. They've picked it twice, and they haven't won with it just yet. Curiouser and Curiouser.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I'm actually looking at both of these teams, and they both play way too many heroes. when I look at across the drafts, right, and you've played 15 games. This is game 16 for both of these teams. I don't want to see your pool have 10 heroes. Like, I really don't. I know there's something to be said about having more than a hero or two in your back pocket in case, you know, some bans start coming out, but it is a broad spectrum of heroes that these guys are willing to play. So last ban's coming out. Each team will be looking for a carry. So we'll see a lot of the good ones taken away. Have to see what remains. I'm very surprised actually back from the dead bans the Ursa. Especially if they're thinking about playing playing Invoker support. We'll have to see. Thinking more and more about it, I kind of like the Night Stalker against Hoodwink Shadow Demon supports. At the very least, you eat the Purge. The Demonic Purge, and kind of give your carry free reign. Otherwise, you're going to feast on the backlines. But we'll see. I mean, they've got to come up with a carry to tie things in a neat bow. I think Kiki's Angels, they've left the Clinks in the pool. It'd be a pretty nice pickup for Back from the Dead, though they could be eyeing it themselves. Other thing that's still available, Abaddon. Very topical, very strong. Maruni heroes are much more power farmy. And there is space in this draft for something like the Gyrocopter. Maybe even a Morphling. You just kind of exist in the lane. There's not a lot of kill threat. Though Nightstalker, it could be awkward against Nightstalker. I don't know. Even with the Shadow Demon, maybe it's not enough. So they do ban Gyro. I believe Maruni does play the Clinks. Might just go for it here. Strong hero will have the save behind him, and you cause a lot of chaos. Goes Wind Ranger instead. This is another hero that we've been seeing more out of the carry slot as well. The most carry wind since the other facet, the Whirlwind, I think it was. And back from the dead, Clinks makes it through all the way to him, so they're going to take it. Why not? It is going to be Roa offlane, Nightstalker mid on the Sand King, and the support Invoker, like we thought. And who do we like in this draft? It's a good question. I'm so not a fan of the Invoker support, and at the same time, I kind of like this Nightstalker pick. Even though I'm not hugely sold on the Nightstalker as a hero. I don't know, it's kind of hard. Like, am I sold on Kunkka Beastmaster? Maybe? I don't know, maybe. Oh, and we get disconnected from the game. I really hope this isn't becoming a thing. Like, that's rather spooky. Alright, don't worry, we didn't miss anything. So are we gonna get a game 3? Kiki's Angels looking to force it, or are Back from the Dead gonna be able to take things down? I'm still trying to come up with what team I prefer. What team I'd prefer to be on in this situation. You know, is Clinks really going to be a problem?
Prepare for battle.
I think I might prefer to be Radiant again. I think Garrett had a pretty good game on the Kunkka. And he's got it again in a more favorable lane this time against the Sand King. I'm not super sold on Nightstalker. I'm not super sold on Invoker support. I think you've picked kind of a lane-dominating offlaner and a support that does not dominate the lane. Ward gets sniped out of the mid lane. But here they come.
I'm farming lane, 'cause I'm a winner.
Looking for the gang. See if anybody's going to come up in this triangle side. Roa thinking about it. Gotta be careful, don't get too close. By the way, this Tangled facet is what's going to allow Maruni to play more as the carry. The extra Shackle Shot damage that you get. It is significant. Remember people saying that this facet was terrible? You know, Kill Shot's the only one that you'd ever go, and this facet looks very, very strong. Looking for the connection. Ooh, a little bit awkward there. The Shackle Shot disrupted by the disruption, but pinned in by the illusions. Alright, it's going to be more than enough. I was thinking about defending the ward, potentially. I think this ward will be spotted out as well. So they lost the one ward in the mid. Probably you lose the second. Though, not sure if they'll just expect that, you know, with the pile of heroes there, they didn't need vision to get that, that first blood. Either way, Kiki's going to be very happy. Start the game off at the early advantage. And like I said, Kunkka this lane should be very, very happy. Ches needs to be a little bit careful. Playing around this tower AoE, excuse me. And with the couple denies on the first wave, Garrett early to the level 2. It's going to make things just a little bit harder for the Sand King, though. Should settle out at this point. Man, I say it settles out, and all of a sudden gets even harder. 6-3 versus what should be 5-0, though. Jinxing them a little bit. Make that 3-0 on the first two waves. So very, very awkward for Ches early on in this lane. And I think this has to just get worse as time goes, too. You know, it's not like Sand King's particularly strong at level 1, but this is what Kunkka wants to do. You get a couple points, you get extra points in the Tidebringer, you start to out-harass the opposing laner. And yes, you know, Ches is going to get more points in the Sandstorm, so he's going to start to hit a little bit harder, but you still get cleaved down by the Tidebringer. We are crashing once more. Man, this is unfortunate. This is actually very, very annoying. We're going to continue to get disrupted from our game. We're going to continue to poop back in straight away. And continue to hopefully not miss things. Though whether we do is not in question, or not out of the question, I should say. This time looks like we haven't missed much. As we will take the opportunity to go and tour the other lanes. Seraphim on the Clinks. Off to an alright start. A lot of wand charges and lots of HP to his name. So I think this is actually going very, very well for the Clinks. He hasn't been clicked down at the early levels. Not exactly out of the woods against the Beastmaster by any means. But he should be relatively happy in this lane, I would imagine. Lotus going to be claimed. Lots of damage onto Key. And yeah, the Axis spam will continue, not wanting to just feed boars over to the Clinks. Take 3, man. How painful. Can jump down bottom and click on some heroes before we disconnect. I don't know, man. Dota not having a good time today. What can you do but wait? We are straight back into it. I love that it's not, like, anything too wrong, either. It's just going down.
Are scanning.
Couldn't tell you.
Bounty.
Did you fall out
So a
of
little
bed?
bit slower pace this game, too, than we saw game 1. Game 1 was really, like, as soon as the 4s hit level 2, they were ready to come mid and try and force some action around the map. This time, though, can't get to the top lane fast enough as Seraphim does go down. Axis spam, able to take him out with the help of a bushwhack. But like I was saying, just to close out the point, you know, this game's going to be a lot more dictated by the side lanes. Both of these mids rather self-sufficient. Also not going to have the most ganking power. You're not exactly killing a Sand King, nor are you killing the Kunkka. And similarly, Shackle's going to be off the mark. But similarly, I don't think either of these mids really have a great ganking potential to go to a side lane. Mainly because it's going to take them a long time to run down there. They're going to lose a lot of efficiency doing so. And then the opposing mid laner is going to TP in and look to turn the tides. So it's one of those games that, you know, really I think we'll see stagnant in the lanes maybe until as late as like 8 minutes. Just everybody's going to farm, everybody's going to chill. Only rotations you'll potentially see would be gate rotations. But even then, Fathom not going to be too willing to go through. You don't really want to gank towards the Night Stalker during the daytime. So, I think we're going to be just slow and steady wins the race.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
You can see lots of damage coming out from Maruni. That facet on the Windrunner really is crazy. Like, it's so hard to estimate the amount... I say estimate. It's so hard to just believe the amount of damage that comes through from the wind. It's level 1 Shackle. Because did bottle up the 6-minute rune. It's a double damage. I still think he's not going to look to make a rotation himself. It would be a TP in the event of a dive, if anything were to happen. Fathom getting bullied by a Forge Spirit. Drags it underneath the tower. Gets a last hit, so a fair play. As 7-minute Lotus, neither mid going to make the move. That would have been the time to do it if they were gonna. So they will end up going one aside, it seems. And that's a kill for Ches on the mid lane. Double damage, Epicenter committed. And he just gets the kill. 1,500 damage. So alright, there's your timing, Ches. Now level 7.5. As that's just the 3rd kill of this game. That's going to be a pretty big one to turn the tides of this mid lane. You can see 46-5 versus 41-6. But when we take a look at the net worth now, all of a sudden it's a 500 net worth lead for the Sand King. So the power rune definitely comes in handy. And by the way, the new double damage, different than the old double damage. Giving the extra spell amp is definitely, at least partially, what allowed Ches to go for that play. Because when you look at, like, 1,500, that is the full HP of Garrett. The 100 to 0 to Kunkka, essentially. Which, I mean, are you really expecting? Are you really expecting that?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, also crazy, by the way. Taking a look down here. Wind is somehow the bottom net worth core in the game. Against Invoker plus Night Stalker. This should never happen. This should never happen. Trying to go forward, but he's now 1v2, just getting zoned a little bit. It's awkward. The focus fire, it's not going to be enough to take out Invoker. I mean, he could potentially just, like, turn this a little bit. He's got Big Wand. He's going for Invo again, and might just be able to run him down the... Power shot's not going to be enough, and he ran himself into the ice wall. Maruni's going to go down. He's been owned, man. I don't know what happened. This shouldn't happen. It's really, really rough stuff for Maruni. It's daytime against the Night Stalker as well. He didn't have level 6 just yet. I don't know. It's a couple of deaths, right? One on your mid, one on your carry that you don't want to see. Especially in a must-win game.
Dire's courier.
Garrett took a lot of damage in the Sandstorm there. Not exactly the place you want to be running into. Like I said, neither of these mids too interested in getting active early. As I say it, Kunkka headed up top. Night Stalker on the hunt. Seraphim not able to find a kill, but in comes Roa hunting forward the cookie. Finds Garrett instead. It's not the easiest kill on the Kunkka. They're going to try and run him down regardless. As making the move is Ches inside of the triangle. They've got the vision from the Night Stalker. See who they're able to run into. Looks like it's going to be key. Epicenter channeled up, and it will just be the Beastmaster going down. Rest of the team, Fathom walked himself in, and Garrett might have just done it as well. Oh, how painful is that, man? They were out free and clear. Some save your buddy syndrome and just walking into the Sandstorm. Just feeding a couple of extra kills. The way of back from the dead. And again, that's an Epicenter that really should have only gotten value on one hero instead. Cleanly kills off two.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Ches just suffering from success here. Arcane Rune denied out in front of him. Wards up top and TP going to be just too long to catch any heroes sticking around. And Garrett up here made the TP. Now he's going to make the long run back to mid. This game, it feels like Kiki's Angels right now are just out of sorts. They don't know where to go on the map. They're just running themselves in circles. Swapping positions on everybody. And in the meantime, falling further and further behind. I mean, look at the 3 cores at the top of the board. 5,200 net worth on the Sand King. Puts him more than 1,000 above the next enemy hero.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And bringing so many heroes, trying to pressure the Clinks up here, but Seraphim is just totally free. Falcon Blade Desolator, the call from Clinks, means they want to set some tempo, play around their Night Stalker.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Might just be able to do it. Invis Rune for Garrett as he's going to run up to the top lane. Double Brace or Kunkka. Will pack a bit of a punch if he's able to land here. But instead, it's underneath their own tier 1 tower where the party is. Gonna snipe the first kill onto Sleepy, and now they've got the wraparound coming. Looking for Invoker. The Roar does come out onto Seraphim, though. And they've got the rotation through the gate. Marooney's in. There's nowhere for the Clinks to run, nowhere to hide, as he's stuck inside of the trees. Does go down. They've got Invoker off to the side as well. So it's 3 kills that were very, very much needed. The Invis Rune gank almost didn't bear fruit, but found it in the end. And now Ches has been purged inside of the jungle. Fathom hunting around. It's the Blink Dagger reveal for Ches, so forced to pop it early.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And now he'll head back to the mid lane just to farm up. Meanwhile, on the top side, Marooney was getting to work on the tower. Need to be so careful as the cookie. It's going to be off the mark. Might buy him the space he needs with the wind run to get away. Now the bushwhack trying to turn around with the damage, and they'll have it with the axes as well. Off to the side, Shadow Demon, Fathom. He's going to go down to the Clinks. Too many skeleton archers in the way. They'll go 1 for 1 on the supports. It's going to be everybody minus the mid lanes in the top. Ches was thinking about coming, but doesn't make it all the way up there.
Radiant's top tower has been
Garrett going for this early Shivas again, and he's going to be caught. Burrow Strike, Epicenter, Sunstrike. It's going to be off the mark, but there should still be enough damage with the help of the Sandstorm. Ches' second solo kill on the mid, and the 14-minute Wisdom going to be stolen away as well. The supports don't have enough in the tank to fight back, and Frodo going to go down as well. Roa snipes him with the help of those skeleton archers. So from bad to okay to worse, as now losing both the Wisdom Shrines at 14 minutes. Not the same as the 7-minute Wisdom Shrines. They're not the same importance, I should say. But more importantly, I think, Ches getting another solo kill on the mid, working towards the Aghanim Scepter. And that is going to be a very, very strong timing for the Sand King. And I think importantly, you know, his Blink reveal kind of got interrupted in his own jungle, but still able to use it to get an early kill instead of kind of petering out the tempo. So it keeps him on top of the net worth board. And Sand King with the max level Sandstorm is a hero that farms very, very quickly as well. You can see what he does here. Able to farm 2 camps at once. Just keep dragging these guys back in. And able to play for his own game. Keep this train a-rolling. Need to talk about Marooney's game. I think this lane should have gone a lot better for the Wind Ranger. Instead, suffering. Let's hold that thought up on top. Seraphim clipped by the dust. X mark into the boat, into the torrent. Gonna connect, and Marooney in with the TP, ready to take this kill down. It's a much needed one. They'll get it onto Kunkka instead. But nice to slow the pace of the Clinks, who is nearly completed on the Desolator.
Radiant's middle tower has been denied.
In return, they do lose the mid tier 1 tower. It was likely a foregone conclusion Ches with the shield rune. He's thinking about an epicenter. Now he's going to be ready to use it. As here he comes. The Sand King jumps in, finds just the Hoodwink. They'll lose both supports, but nothing more, and I think they should be grateful they don't lose anything more. That could have been disastrous if the epicenter landed on a core instead. Vlad's first into the Aghanim Scepter. This is a full no boar, no hawk build. Don't give anything to the Clinks. Can't really blame him. It's a hard matchup to play the Beastmaster into the Clinks. Build does feel a little bit outdated, but can understand not wanting to go for the Dominator. Garrett. Stunned up, Ice Wall, Cold Snap, Ches jumps in, 2-man Burrow Strike, finds the connection, he finds the 1 kill, looking for the second, Sunstrike going to be off the mark. As Hoodwink, hoping to get away from this one, looks like he will, as Maruni dies elsewhere on the map as well. And now jumping in, looking for more, they'll have Fathom. So 3 kills, maybe even making a 4th Roa, making it all the way over. Blink Dagger and ready to go up onto the high ground. There's no heroes alive to punish this aggression. And 17 minutes in, underneath the tier 3, able to complete the team wipe -1. But what's Beastmaster really going to do in response? Game once again getting out of control for Kiki's Angels. As early on in this game, Ches has absolutely taken over. You can see just how far on the enemy half of the map they're able to play. I mean, Ches is farming the most far forward camps you can possibly take. And there's no response. There's nothing you can do about this. Maruni has finished off the Maelstrom. It is daytime. Gonna look for a play. Support smoked up on the back. Roa has been found in the X-Mark. Should hold him back long enough to take out the Night Stalker. And off to the side, they've actually found an extra one. Seraphim trying to run away. See if they've got detection. And it looks like not any close enough to catch the Clinks. Manages to get away scot-free. Desolator complete. Nilby away. Meanwhile, Ches hunting in the jungle. That was the epicenter used. So there's not going to be anything left in the tank with the rest of the team down. Be willing to trade off Invoker, or will they? Here they come back in. Clinks ready to get to work. Take down the support. Ches, dregs of the Haste Rune, hunting for more. He's got a Burrow Strike available. Maruni's been found. There's no Wind Run to work with. And the Cookie going to connect onto 2. And this is going to spell disaster. Looking to continue chasing. They've got the Mortimer's Kisses to rain down as well. As he even pushed forward, the Grandma going to keep on spitting. Or I guess the Lizard does the spitting, huh? Either way, take down the Kunkka for free. Now they're going to jump in. Find Fathom on the back lines. Disruption only going to buy you some time, as burning down inside of the Sandstorm, it's not going to matter. Cookie off the mark, and it's the only thing that saves them from losing another. But we're not yet 20 minutes in. That was a tier 2 tower to fall. Seraphim just now getting the shard delivered out, so the farm speed will continue to accelerate for the Clinks. Not that he needs it already. Second place, only behind his Sand King, having a phenomenal game. He is going to have the Aghanim Scepter ready. He's got the gold for it, considering between the Blink Dagger and finishing off the Aghanims. 20-minute Tormentor on the opposite side of the map with the Night Stalker. Taken a few seconds after it spawns, but will be taken nonetheless. And that's actually the shard for Sand King. So extra Epicenter pulses. That's a lot of shards they've bought already. Ghostwalk upgrade already online. And same for the Night Stalker shard. Buying the Hunter and the Night Shard. Can't say that's one that's super valuable to invest in early on, but hard to complain when you're this far ahead in the game. Why not continue your acceleration?
Middle tower is under attack.
Hunting with the Night Stalker. Blink Dagger ready to go. Marooney gonna be the target. He's been spotted, and now they got him. Jump in. Got the silence. Sunstrike. Mortimer's Kiss is raining down. See if they have the damage. Marooney able to get off the wind run and makes it back to the base. Ches just not in position to find the Blink Burrow. So maybe the first play that's a little bit off the mark there.
Dire's top
Felt like
tower
they could have
is
just had a
under
big
attack.
pickup into the enemy carry. Instead, wonder if they could use the opportunity to potentially look for an early Roshan. Though here comes the smoke the other way, Kiki's Angels. They know that the Mortimer's Kisses were used already.
Dire are scanning.
And any spell that's not available, they'll have to take.
I'll take your tribute.
Seraphim pops the smoke, dust connects onto him, but he's already up the high ground. Needs some help in a big way. He's getting chased down, but they can't find an X onto him. Eventually, they are going to pull him, but Ches, here comes the epicenter. Off to the side, Roa causing chaos on the backline. The supports, they've been silenced up, but where's the damage? Falling low on the Night Stalker. He goes down, and Ches in the middle of it all. Not able to get a ton of work done with the epicenter still. They will lose 3. The supports and Beastmaster as Garrett limps off to the side. And with the Clink's damage here, they'll have enough. Marooney all the way underneath the tier 2 tower. The TP's coming in, and they will complete the team wipe. Marooney stands still, waves the hand in the air. He just doesn't care. Godlike for Ches, 9-0 and 9. As 3,000 damage done by the Sand King, and it felt like the Epi didn't actually do the most work, but it was just the continued chase down, the Aghanims, plus the Aghanim Shard.
Radiant's top
Just
tower
allowing
is
him
under
to
attack.
cause continued damage throughout that team fight. And Seraphim doing a good job on the Clinks to pick his spots. I mean, it wasn't imperative to get the damage out immediately in the fight, instead prioritizing his own safety. Really feels like the only way to lose a fight right now for Back from the Dead is if Seraphim gets caught. And he recognizes that as they go into the Roshan. "24 minutes in, 14,000 net worth lead as kill score doubled up for Back from the Dead, 24-12. And by the way, your support Invoker not feeling so much like a support right now. Aghanim Scepter online. So look for the Ice Flow. There you go. Fathom. Ticking down, Sunstrike over the top. Will be brought down. Meanwhile, Seraphim hunting himself with the help of his good buddy Roa. Chasing down for Marooney as well. And they're going to find this angle. There's no gate play to be had. Roa just stalking him. Marooney can't TP. Wind Run to try and buy some space, but there's a Blink Dagger in a couple of seconds. And all he can do is buy time. Because here they come. Silence out onto him. Just don't burn that stun and Marooney will be toast. Here it comes. They've got the Burrow Strike. They've got the kill. Beyond godlike for Ches. He's absolutely taken over this game. Fathom wants the D word. He wants it bad. Round 2 of the Ice Flow. Here it comes. Tornado gonna clip on the Fathom. Cold Snap. The Ice Flow actually was off the mark. But Fathom might just get away for this one. So D-Ward acquired.
bottom tower is under attack.
Double damage rune for Ches. And look at this. This is ridiculous. This is an Invoker. This is a position 4 Invoker. Just 1v3. Just hanging out outside of the base. Looking to take down Garrett. Will eventually go down as Ches comes in from the side with the epicenter. Maruni set to fall as well. Another round of the damage comes through as the epicenter pulses are enough. It's a triple kill for Ches. A buyback from Garrett. Trying to hold on to what semblance of this game remains. As Roa roared underneath the tier 3 tower, but the 4-staff cookie bails him out. All the way back. The tier 3's being cracked. As Seraphim focuses on the more important objectives, the buildings, as they go down. He's got Aegis in the back pocket for another 2.5 minutes. So no real threat to his life, as they'll claim the bottom set of barracks and back off, at least for the time being. And still a lot in the tank, by the way. They still have a nighttime from Night Stalker. Still have an Aegis. Seraphim ready to get to work. They sense the blood in the water. They know this game is not much longer for the world. They can force if they want to. Roa pops the nighttime. Just getting to work on the building. Range rack's already gone down. And now they're in onto Maruni. They found the connection with the Invoker, and there's no BKB. There's no saving him. He's down for 45 seconds, Maruni. Gonna sit on the sidelines. One set of barracks remaining up in the top lane. Tier 3 tower is exposed, by the way, so they can just get to work straight away. How much do you have left in the tank? Kikis, they're going to smoke up behind their tier 4 towers. See what they can do, if they can delay, if they can hold. 20 seconds before Maruni's going to spawn. Ches does have Epicenter available again. And they've got the connection onto Garrett up in the top, isolated from his team and taken down. Was looking for the damage onto Seraphim, but remember, there's still an Aegis for 50 seconds, and he doesn't mind burning it inside of the base. Will get Sharpshooter down, but he's just going to respawn full health, full mana. And now claims the Mega Creeps before backing out. And it was the dieback on Garrett. So another 50 seconds on the deck. And it's 20, like, not to put too fine a point on it, but it's 28 minutes, and it's Mega Creeps. You've got a Maelstrom on Wind, and you've got Wild Axes to help out, but they're going to struggle to hold these creeps. And Seraphim, he's going to make the job that much harder. The Skeletons, nice reaction with the Ghost Scepter, but how many rounds of that do you have? He's going to hunt once again. And this time, there's no Ghost Scepter. There is a disruption for Fathom. Maybe a little ambitious to be that far inside of the base. But as soon as the Mega Creeps come in, and they're coming in this wave, what can you really do? Aghanim's completed for the Snapfire, by the way, so ready to see someone thrown in. And here they go. Invoker, he's going to be the target, thrown all the way outside of the base. Tornado up in the air, and he's just going to sit there with the shield rune. And look at the Mortimer's Kisses rain on down. There's nothing they can do. Invo in the fountain, they'll find the one kill. But zoned all the way out. Ches ready to jump in, kills off Maruni, and gets out to boot. Everybody going down. Ches going to survive his jaunt in the fountain. GG's going to be called. It's going to be a quick 2-0. Pretty dominant game 1, pretty dominant game 2 from Josh A. We'll see both of those teams in the finals, Back from the Dead and Chaos. And feels like today they were just the better team. It's another game. It's another very, very well played game from Ches. Didn't end up dying that game. 14-0-13. So really taking over from minute 0. And I thought that lane should have gone a little bit better for Garrett on the Kunkka. Ended 1-9, really was just a hard game. I thought early on was going to be able to crawl out to a bit higher of an advantage, but I didn't watch enough bottom. You know, I don't know what happened for Maruni, because that lane should have gone so much better. Windranger plus plus Fathom, plus the Shadow Demon, right? Against Invoker, Night Stalker. There's no way that Wynn doesn't just destroy that lane. I can't be convinced otherwise. Either way, it's a rough game for them, and I think ultimately, as we can update the score here, I think ultimately it's a hard game 1 to bounce back from. We saw a similar story in game 2 where it just feels like, you know, Kiki's felt like they were on the back foot from minute 0, and it's a rough one. It's so hard, I think, when you play a first game like that. You get into the second game, you think, okay, maybe things are going to go our way. It's a slow early game. You kind of bleed a couple of kills, right? And all of a sudden, as I might pull up the graph real quick, right? We can take a peek. You're talking 80% win probability at 10 minutes. I mean, that is ludicrous, right? That's nuts. For a less than 2,000 gold lead as well, by the way. I think that's a ridiculous Dota Plus probability. But, I mean, the graph just kind of shows it all, right? It was from the start. Back from the dead were in the driver's seat, and that's exactly what we saw happen. Chaz, MVP of the series, has to be, right? Crazy performance game 1, and a perfect performance here in game number 2. Ended up with 28,000 damage, which doesn't sound like a super high number, but in a 30-minute game, when your enemies don't have that much health to begin with, yeah, it's a lot. 14-0 and 13 on the Sand King. And really just throwing the team on his shoulders. Seraphim didn't need to work that hard, 8-3 and 9 on the Clinks. And this support Invoker, I don't know. Maybe it just, maybe it was a little big for its britches. I don't know. It looked pretty good at the end of the day. It looked like it did a whole lot. I'm not convinced by this hero, kind of as a rule, but hey, when you make it work like that, you make it work like that. So yeah, we'll look forward to watching this team through playoffs. Josh A back from the dead. Saw them have a rougher go of it last week, but all of a sudden things are looking up for them. See if they can bring that momentum forward to next week in the start of the playoffs. But until then, catch everybody next time. Gotta look forward to those playoffs starting next week, I believe. Should be. I don't have it pulled up. I don't know why I'm looking over there. I don't have any info. But it should be next week. We'll be back every Thursday here. AD2L casts now back live once again. So make sure you're tuning in then. We'll be covering more of Heroic Playoffs next week. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.
For you. Oh, come on.